Welcome back, League Nighters. We're back again with another swing breakdown from a USSSA Conference Pro. Today we're going to look at Jason Matusik, but before we do that, I want to do a quick thank you to San Francisco Baseball Academy. Again, check them out for any needs you might have for softball, baseball training in the San Francisco area. A great place to go. Also, big thanks to Stacy at ASP, sorry, wrong sleeve, for all the jerseys and things that she's done for us in the past. She's been great to us. Also, real quick up top, we would really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, ring the bell to all these videos. We have a lot of our viewers that are watching our stuff but aren't subscribed, so we'd really love to have you in the community there. So please hit the subscribe button. But for now, let's get on to Jason Matusik. Jason has some info on the guy, so tell us about him.
Hey, and do not forget to drop a comment. We want to hear what you want to see,
yes,
who you want us to break down, any topics you want us to cover. So
absolutely.
Let us know. But yeah, Jason Matusik. So Jason Matusik plays for Monsta, who is just now getting into the U-Trip space, and apparently their bat is supposed to be great. One of our teammates pings him on Instagram in his DMs, and Matusik just says those bats are fire.
Yeah.
And his statistics, they seem to prove that they are.
Also fire.
Just looking at 2022, Jason Matusik has a 776 OBP over 116 plate appearances. So you're not talking about a small sample size here, and the guy just gets on base.
That will play.
41 home runs. RP7, again, for those that haven't listened to us before, RP7 is a metric by Softball Center that measures your runs produced over a 7-inning game if you were to hit in every single position in the lineup. So he could produce 67 runs per game if he was to hit every single spot in the lineup. That is ridiculous.
67.
I think he's going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, by himself, if he could play every position.
He is top 5 in Conference USA in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, RP7, and home run percentage. And home run percentage being the percentage of his at-bats that result in a home run. He's top 5 in all of those metrics, which probably explains how he was the tournament MVP of the 2022 Hall of Fame Classic Duel and the 2022 Battle of the Beach tournament. The dude's having a heck of a season so far.
He sure is. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's stellar.
All right, so this guy absolutely knows what he's doing. That's why we're going to check out some of his swings today. And just from the stats you just heard, the guy can hit bombs. He can hit super hard. He's a power hitter. So the first swing we're going to look at is going to be one of his home run swings. So let's take a quick look at it in real time. And then, as always, we'll go back and check it out in slow-mo and walk through it. So here we go, coming through, big swing, huge swing, way up in the air. And again, this is Space Coast, just like a lot of the film we've seen recently. Over there, you're probably looking at 340, 345, something like that in that area. So that's not
no cheapies.
That's not a short home run fence by any means. So he really gets a hold of it there. So let's run it up until he's getting ready to take his swing.
You know who initially, when I watched that first swing in real speed, you know who he reminded me of?
Let me know.
He reminded me a lot of Dale Brungart.
Yeah.
With just the amount of torque that he gets in his swing and that power that he generates.
Yeah, that big twist around.
So much power.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you probably want to know how to put a little bit more power in your swing and hit the ball a little harder.
That's why I'm watching.
Dale Brungart, great one.
Yeah.
Video's up there in the corner. If you haven't watched it, give that one a view.
Yep.
But same here. This guy generates monster power, and we're going to show you how to do that yourself.
He generates Monsta power. Anyway, woo boy. Okay, continue on. So in slow-mo here. So again, a lot of the mechanics from these pros are similar, but let's break it down a little bit. So we'll go through some of the things that are similar and some of the things that we think kind of stand out here. So got a nice stride here, not quite as big and huge as some of like Kyle Pearson's was massive, but still a pretty big stride here.
Super quiet.
Yeah. I noticed his hands are a little noisy. He's got a lot of movement in the hands, but the lower half is very quiet. And then he kind of
big leg load.
Yeah, big leg load. And again, if you notice here, he gets in a pretty squatted down stance, which I think is a little bit different for some of the other guys. Some of the guys are a little more upright or a little more just digging straight into that front foot right from the beginning. But he digs in and he actually gets a fair amount of flex. And then you see that big straightening out of that front leg to press against. And that's, again, right about the point of contact. So basically about as late as you can get away with that. He's doing that. One thing that I really noticed, and again, this is a thing that I often have to teach kids in like teenagers and stuff when I'm at the baseball academy, is especially when they're not twisting that back foot properly, is to really throw that knee forward and actually a little bit downward. And he does that really well. Like he gets down in that squat and that back knee is just throwing down towards the ground and also back towards the direction he wants to hit the ball. And I think that's like... this is like one of the best examples I've ever seen of that. So
and so just to clarify for everyone, the purpose of that throwing of the knee is really to twist those hips and really generate that torque in the lower half, right?
Absolutely, to throw that back hip forward, so now your hips are now facing towards the field of play instead of away from the field of play. Huge turn there, and then of course big upper body twist there. I know the thing you always like to point out is the chin, right?
Yep. Very quiet with the head means he's just going to be really reliable tracking the ball. He's going to make great contact. You know, one of the things that one of our players, Ski, talks about is, you know, when he gets tired, he moves around a lot. And when you're moving around a lot, it's hard to make sure that you're really getting good contact and tracking the ball properly because you're just adding another variable to the process of moving parts. And you see that all of these breakdowns that we've done, every one of these guys is so quiet from the neck up. And that's just going to ensure recurrence of what they're hoping to see, which is, you know, we're going to watch the ball, we're going to track it right to where we are expecting it to be, and you're going to get a lot of positive results.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, you can just see it here in the slow-mo. Like he's got a little bit of an up-down movement to the head as he's stepping, but as far as like forward, back, side to side type of movement, I mean, he's just locked in on that ball the whole time. So
yeah, if you stop right there where he plants, and then you were to just watch for the next few frames, I guarantee his chin stays right where it's at, and it just moves from that front shoulder to the back shoulder.
Yep, sure does. And then as it comes around, you'll notice, again, just like you said, he trades shoulders, right? He's got it glued to the front shoulder, and then when those shoulders come around, he's got it basically glued to that back shoulder. Now, he already knows he's hit a bomb, so he's already started looking up. He's like, I know where this thing's going.
So if you see at the contact point where his hands are, the bat and his hands are well in front of that front line of the batter's box. And so you notice that he pulls it right to where the Space Coast scoreboard is. And one of the things we talk about in our tee work video is moving the tee to the different points of contact for the different fields that you're trying to hit. And that's what you want to do when you're trying to hit left field as a right-handed batter, is you want to put it well in front of and inside of the plate. So out in front of the plate, essentially. And you'll notice that his contact point is exactly where he's expecting to do that if he's pulling the ball.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you want to work on those tee exercises, notice the contact point and where the ball goes, and think about placing the tee in that location so that you can really work on those swings.
Yeah, so like if I had to say, like if I was looking at that and I was going to say where I would place my tee to practice that, I would probably almost take the inside line of his batter's box there, the one that's pointing out towards the field, and then I would probably put that tee like a foot in front of it. At least that's what it looks like for me. Like it's all the way
maybe
almost,
maybe even 2 feet.
Yeah, exactly. But it's basically as inside as it could possibly be, and then again a foot or two in front of the batter's box. So if you think about that spatially, like that's way out in front, and you can meet that ball way out in front, and again pulling the ball super hard. So he's taking that inside pitch and just rocketing out to left center.
And also notice he's getting that at the letters, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you really want to get that tee up as high as possible. A lot of times you'll see people that'll go out to do tee work and they'll bring a bucket. And a bucket is to put the tee on top of, because most tees aren't that tall.
Yep. Definitely have done that before. Got to get that thing up for softball. Baseball, you can get that thing down like between the knees and the belt, but for softball, I mean, knees in the belt are something to practice, but you're probably going to live more around the letters more often for pitches than you are down there. So,
especially when you're standing that far up in the box, if it's at the knees, it's probably already going to be a ball, and you're
not swinging at that. Yeah, you're not swinging at that anyways. Some of the normal type things like we were talking about that we've seen in almost all of these guys' videos, again, straightening out that front leg to brace, super flat swing path. So again, that's a key to softball hitting, super flat swing path. Because we don't have like 1,000 frames per second here, it's hard to see, but you can definitely tell by the way he swings. He's got a super hard wrist snap. And one thing I noticed too is that he comes way through, which is kind of like what you were talking about with that big rotation like Dale Brungart has. He doesn't lose any of that energy he's created because of his anatomy. I see a lot of players, especially like rec players and stuff like that, where they'll swing hard, but they slow their own swing down. They try to stop their swing instead of just flying through, and then, you know, your body will slow the bat down eventually. You don't have to purposefully slow it down. But when you do purposely slow it down, that's when you lose some of that power because you're trying to put the brakes on. So he is clearly not doing that. He's flying through. He's just letting it slow down when it slows down. He's not putting on any sort of brakes. And I think, again, that's part of that flying through swing that's really helping him just create all that ton of power, especially on the pull side. It's really easy to get that extra twist on the pull side because you're already coming through and hitting the ball kind of out in front of you. So you have even more room you need to travel to get all that spin in there. So,
and if you think about players who you're talking about who actually try to slow the bat speed down, even though they may think that they're slowing their bat speed down after the point of contact, your body is going to be reacting before, and that means you're slowing your bat speed down before you actually even contact the ball.
Yeah.
Which is detrimental to the whole point of you swinging hard to hit the ball hard, is because you're slowing yourself down before you get there.
Yeah, and again, I see a lot of slowings down, but I also see a lot of people that, because they know they're going to put on the brakes, they actually just never reach their top speed. Like they just never get going fast enough. They don't even have to slow it down as much because they never get there because they're thinking about slowing it down before they even get through. So it's either way, you're not getting that bat speed that you're looking for that's going to add that extra 15, 30, 60 feet, depending on how hard you're hitting the ball. You know, all that extra that comes is because of that bat speed.
One last thing that I would add is, you know, we've talked about all of these things that every one of the conference pros that we've broken down does, right? They have the flat swings, they have the really quiet head, they watch the ball all the way through to the point of contact. But you'll notice that each of these guys has a little bit of uniqueness in their swing too, right? We mentioned that Jason Matusik has a quiet lower half, you know, where Kyle's huge load. Everybody can do things their own way and be successful as long as you keep those core mechanics in mind. And those are the things that we're going to find as we keep watching these guys is, you know, do what feels good for you and just keep the core concepts in mind and you'll be successful.
Absolutely. And one big thing we kind of just pointed out here too, a lot of the guys that we've done in the previous, the big power hitters, Kyle Pearson especially, have this really great cut swing. And again, that's definitely one way to succeed, especially in higher level softball. But you'll notice here when he hits this bomb, that ball goes way up. This is like majestic, super long fly ball. And if you go and you check highlights of this guy, all of his home run swings are almost all like that. He doesn't get those like line drive, only goes 40 feet at its highest point type of swings. He gets these big towering 100 feet, whatever they are, up in the air type of swings. So it just kind of goes to show that there's a lot of different ways that you can accomplish the same thing, and you don't have to do it one way or another to be successful. So we definitely would encourage you to try all the different things and figure out what works for you. But great example of how different players can do different things and achieve the same results. So keep that in mind for sure.
Definitely.
All right, we're going to take a look at one more swing here from Jason Matusik. So we just looked at a bomb, so we're going to take a look at something that maybe is a little different than a bomb. Him trying to hit a base hit for sure, but a kind of unique situational base hit. So let's watch it here in real time. Pitch is going to come in. He's going to hit that thing hard, but it's going to go right down the left field line and twist out towards the corner. So he's going to give it even extra space in there. Again, let's pause it when it's right here ready, and let's walk through it just a hair. A lot of similar things you'll see for his home run swing, where he takes his step, throws his back knee, and really straightens out that front leg. But you'll notice he gets that bat way out in front. He meets it almost directly in front of his body, it looks like. And
yeah,
again,
he gets off the end of the bat for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing we were talking about a little earlier, that I think he was intentionally trying to hit the ball to the left side, because if you'll notice, This outfielder is giving him so much space on the line here, so I'm sure that was on purpose, but I don't think he probably tried to hit it that far off the end of the bat. But definitely was.
Pros are human; they miss the ball sometimes too.
They do, yeah. And again, the important thing is even when he misses, he's able to hit the ball hard enough that it still gets through. So that's the big thing, is still put velocity on your balls. Looks like he's actually top spinning this a little bit on purpose here, which I'm sure is just a function of trying to get that thing to go to the corner. But that thing top spins and then it lands, what, maybe a foot? Can't really see where it lands, but a foot inside the line. And then again, just keeps rolling out at that point. So really good again for a base hit. Definitely showing that you can get something accomplished without having to just hit a bomb every time. A couple of things I notice here too is that at that point of contact, you'll notice his hands are way, way, way out in front. This wouldn't be like an optimal balance swing point if you're trying to hit like a home run. But again, he's got enough power. He's got good enough mechanics that he's able to make something work out of this and actually get on base, get 2 bags. A double is awesome. I love doubles. I still would argue doubles might be more important than home runs, especially at lower levels when you only get so many.
The only thing I would say is potentially he's early. I mean, I know that he wants to meet it out in front, but the way that he meets it, it's still like not the optimal. Like, I don't think he got the sweet spot on that at all. But he still just has such good hand discipline and such good snap on that contact point that he's able to get the power to get it past the defender before he even has a chance to field that thing.
To kind of reiterate a point we were talking about before about keeping your head still, I just noticed, and this one is a really good example. So literally look at his head right now. I'm going to go frame by frame. And literally for like 3 or 4 frames there, like it doesn't move at all. Like it stays in the exact same place. So again, I know, it just goes to show you how important that can be to just tracking a ball, making contact exactly where and when you want to. And probably is a good reason why he still was able to get away with this, even though it wasn't his like optimal perfect hit. Head was super nice and still. He was able to track that ball and still hit it, even though it wasn't exactly what he wanted. So pretty good thing to have.
Still good mechanics with that front leg fully extended. Still a good snap on the ball. Head discipline's great. I think you just missed this one a little bit.
All these guys are human. They miss it sometimes. You know, some of these pros strike out on occasion, which you would think is like the worst thing in the world, but it's a thing that happens to everybody. So again, you can't sit and worry about it. You got to be like these conference pros, get back up there the next at bat and do your thing. And these guys are getting paid, but get out there and do something good for your team too. So pretty awesome swing here. Really good batter here in Jason Matusik. Love to see swings like this all the time. So we're gonna try to obviously bring you a few more swings here in the future as well. Unless you got anything else, we can wrap her up here. Again, thanks everybody for checking us out. Please ring the bell, like, subscribe, do all those things so that way we can continue on with this. We can reach a bigger audience. You guys can be informed when we are releasing videos and that sort of thing. And hopefully we can bring you more great content like this. And hopefully we see you in the future. So thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate it.